Welcome to the Big Stud Sales Podcast, where I want to help you nail construction selling. I'm your host, Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting, a construction, sales, consulting, and coaching company focused on the remodeling industry. This podcast will help you take the guesswork out of how to be successful selling to homeowners, making you a stud at identifying who your market is, where to find them, how to qualify them, and what to do to close the deal. Connect with me on Instagram at WinRate Consulting or email me, mike@bigstudsales.com.
What's up, studs? If you're listening to this, you either are or want to be a stud at selling in the construction industry. Today, we're going to talk about building and nurturing a referral partner network.
I think you are probably one of the best people I've ever met at building a referral network, but not just building one, but getting them to actually refer you business. And so what can we do to do that?
So the biggest thing I think that I talk about when it comes to specifically referral partner generation is once you've identified who your ideal client market is, who are they, where are they, what do they look like, what do they do, what do they enjoy, you want to understand two things about that person. One, who are their trusted advisors? Where do they go when they have questions or need to get decisions made, or when they're looking for a service, specifically in the home services side of things? Who are they asking? And then two, who has your target market as a client now that would directly benefit from you doing work for? What I mean by that is like, let's just say you're a handyman and you like doing punch list stuff. Well, guess what? Don't target homeowners, target real estate agents, because real estate agents need you as much or more than their clients do, because that real estate agent can't make money unless that deal goes to the closing table, and they need the repairs done or at least quoted to make that happen. So the referral partner in that case is the agent, because the end user or the client paying you is the homeowner. But that person needs you just as much, if not more, than the actual end user. And if you understand those two things, I think we've talked about this and we've put out a lot of aggressive content around it. We don't like SEO. We don't think it works. We don't think it drives.
Oh, I never even told you this. One of the attorneys sent me a text this weekend. Hey, we need to be ranked number one on Google for this, this, and this. And I just wrote back, no, we don't.
That's good. But ultimately, the referral partners and what the benefit of a referral network is you don't have to resell yourself to them every day. When you're just targeting direct to consumer, direct to homeowners, let's say you're a roofing company trying to do replacement roofs or roofing repairs. If you're targeting homeowners, you have to resell yourself every day to that homeowner. Who you are, what you are, why they're beating you down on price. You're having to resell yourself and be in that grind every day. If you instead, let's just say, for instance, target insurance agents. Somebody with an insurance claim is going to go pretty much directly to their insurance agent and say, hey, we have this issue. What do you think we should do? Well, if that agent says you need to call Claudio Roofing, guess the next call you're going to make? You're already trusted to a point. You've already been proven that you can handle the job because their trusted advisor, in this scenario, the real estate agent or the insurance agent, has already proven that they trust you because they referred you. And that insurance agent has hundreds of clients who he can refer you every single day. Does that mean you're going to close every one of them? Absolutely not. But it puts you at the top of the list, if not the only person talking to that client, because their trusted advisor referred you. And this is incredibly powerful, but here's where, and we talked about this on a previous episode about the clarity of message. If you're changing what you do or who you are or who you're helping on a regular basis, your trusted advisor, real estate or insurance or referral group won't know how to refer you.
Nope.
Because you're constantly adjusting. And when you're constantly adjusting, you cannot build the authority figure. You cannot be the trusted asset. You cannot be the person who's best at everything. These are facts. This is not an opinion of mine or Ryan's. This is fact. You cannot be the best at everything. So when you try to be, you dilute your message. You dilute your brand. You dilute your network's ability to refer you confidently. And if somebody can refer you confidently to somebody else in their sphere and network, I don't care if it's a homeowner in Charlotte. Moms of Charlotte is one of the most powerful marketing strategies in the entire city. If you're in any service provider mode and somebody on Moms of Charlotte refers you, you got the golden ticket. Mm-hmm. Ain't easy getting on there. But when you are, man, you could get 50 to 60 leads in a week. Because one person said, hey, who do you know that does this? 3 or 4 people on that list refer you. Man, that is powerful shit.
Yeah.
But if they don't feel trusted enough to do that because they referred you to 3 people and 2 of them had a bad experience because you took on a project you shouldn't have, you're fucked.
I mean, from where I came from and owning a CrossFit gym, there was a CrossFit affiliate owners group. So everybody that owned an affiliate would be in this CrossFit gym owners group. And a common question was, well, who should I use for business coaching? And there were about 4 or 5 of them. And every time they would get recommended, these guys would have a huge influx of, because I was going through their mentoring process to become a mentor for gym owners. And, I mean, they had 300 clients that were paying $300 a month. And they had that every single month, and that was 300 hours of phone calls. But when you start looking at those numbers, that's a pretty dang good business.
But bottom line, when you're building a referral network, the first thing you need to do is make sure you have a really good idea of who you're going after. Like, what does your client look like?
Right. And
if you target their trusted advisors or people who benefit from referring you to their clients, nothing, and I mean this, nothing is easier than that. You have to sustain quality. You have to continue to have a process that people can believe in, which is something I have been very good at. That's been the reason 3 or 4 businesses later, we'll use Verona as an example, right? So I just recently became head of sales / CEO of a cabinet company. I made 15 phone calls to people who I've been working with for years. Every one of them have given us a chance to bid on a project of theirs because of the reputation I've built. They don't know Verona from anybody else in the world. They know that I called and said, look, we have a good product at a fair price. Give us a shot. And the only reason they did was because of the brand I built, because they know that they can trust what I say.
Yeah.
And if I were to not be able to rely on that, man, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be funny, but like pimping ain't easy. Like, it's like if people don't think they can trust you, it's going to be really hard to get yourself out there and get your product sold.
No, my wife, she's a closing attorney for real estate. So she doesn't target buyers. The actual client is the buyer of the house. And most people don't know this. They think that they have to choose the closing attorney that the realtor recommended. However, the buyer is in charge. They are the ones that are the actual client. The referral partner is an agent. The agent's the one that recommends the closing attorney to the buyer to use. And so my wife has to try and promote and build referral networks with all of these realtors so that they will recommend her as the closing attorney for their buyers when they're closing on their house. So it's kind of that shifting your mindset of don't necessarily go to the end client, go to the person of the trusted advisor, because as you're buying a house, you're relying on your realtor to give you all of those pieces of information, and that's the trusted advisor of somebody buying a house. And so my wife, as a closing attorney, has a huge referral network of realtors. And so kind of getting into building that referral network, where do you generally start when you're looking for these referral partners? Do you, I guess, reverse engineering it? So, do you say, I have this specific service and this is the one that I'm going to, because people have multiple services. So do you want to find a specific service? Do you want to try and find specific partners? How are you going and nailing exactly who it is that you want to build that referral network with?
So it's a great question, actually, from you, Ryan. You don't typically have great questions, but that was a good one.
Hey, trying to stump you.
Just like anything else, I start with the lowest hanging fruit. So who benefits the largest from what I have to offer? Or which one of my services brings the biggest value? Or selfishly, which one of my services makes me the most money? All three of those concepts play a big role in the decision making as to what to start with. But ultimately, I'll create a list of the top 20 or 30 people that are in that position in my geographic touch, and I start engaging with them, whether it's through networking events, LinkedIn, Instagram, emails, phone calls. Like, ultimately, it's a much easier cold call, for instance, because you're not trying to sell them anything. You're not asking the referral partner to open up their bank account to you.
So what would your first question be when you go and try a new person to become a referral partner?
So it's the same problem, cause, solution, benefit I use for everything else, but the problem is different. So if I was starting, let's just say, with real estate agents who are, and you're a remodeler and you're looking for projects, you want to do kitchen remodels. My prospecting message would be, are you tired of calling contractors and not hearing back? Are you tired of calling 5 people and only getting in touch with one of them? Are you tired of showing up to meet a contractor and they don't show up, or show up and not send a proposal back to help you get your client helped? Those are the emotional problems that real estate agent is dealing with. Well, the reason that's happening is because most people you're calling don't have a structured sales and follow-up process. Working with Mike Claudio Construction, we have those things in place. We have dedicated employees here to answer your questions when you need them, so that you can get your clients' questions answered and help you get to the closing table faster. So it's the same equation. You start with the emotional problem that your target is having. And in this case, your target is a referral partner. And they're struggling with getting people on the phone, getting their questions answered, getting somebody to show up on time, getting somebody to actually show up and send a proposal back.
Now, you don't come in like guns blazing like that, though. You usually have to nurture that relationship a little bit, right?
I will send that email right now to anybody.
Really?
Absolutely.
I would delete it.
And because you're not dealing with that problem right now.
Right.
If you're a real estate agent who's made 10 phone calls in the last week trying to get their client.
Now, what if somebody could be...
Because that's the low-hanging fruit, though. Because here's an example, right? You can't help every real estate agent. Some real estate agents have somebody they're happy with. You don't want to bark up that tree because you have a very small success rate with that. I'd rather send 100 emails.
So that's a very good point. It's the lowest hanging fruit.
You're trying to get to the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah,
because you don't need every real estate agent. Part of the questionnaire or the problem set is a qualification process. Because if you have a real estate agent who has a network of quality subcontractors and tradesmen and GCs, your ability to break into their network is very difficult, and it takes a lot of time. But if you find somebody who's like reading those questions and goes, yeah, that's me. No, I have that right. They're going to call you right now. And I have a need right now. Can you help me right now?
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it takes time. It is not a high success rate.
Now,
but most businesses don't need 50 or 60 referral partners.
Do you try and find better potential referral partners? So like generally a person that's been in business for 30 years, they probably already have referral partners. Are you looking for like kind of the upcoming people where it's like they probably don't have someone and I can see they're going to do really well?
So I'm going to give you yes and no, and I'm going to give you why. So yes, because sales is significantly about timing, right? So yes, you would want to focus on that because yes, that new person does not have a network of referral needs yet, right? But subsequently, they will drop you like a hat because they don't understand the value in what you're bringing. Like an older agent, for instance, has been through contractor after contractor after contractor after contractor. They're tired of restarting. So those ones who have that problem are very interested in finding a solution and will value the right person a lot better. You're right, though, but the newer person maybe doesn't have that network, doesn't have that thing. I would say probably somebody in the middle is probably the right bet. Someone's been doing it for a couple of years, who has a book of business, because a new person also doesn't need you that often. Mm-hmm. And they're very, very green. They're going to use you because they don't know any better. You want someone who's going to value the experience and knowledge you bring and not just bring you in whenever they think they need you because they don't always need you, right? But then I would say, because I only need, like if you are a remodeling company right now and you're doing sub $5 million in revenue, if you were to find 5 to 6 new referral partners before the end of the year, so it's currently the beginning of November, if you took the next 6 weeks and try to find one new referral partner a week, You could do an extra $1 million next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need that many people to be interested.
Right. I mean, I looked at my wife and said the same thing. I said, you guys are doing so many closings, but if you found one realtor that does 15 closings a year that are on the buyer side, that's 15 more closings, which generally is about $1,000. That's 15 grand. So what if you found 10 of them? You could increase your revenue by $150,000 by finding 10 realtors. Just say, hey, we want to be your closing attorney because you're suffering from
there's
this.
30,000
right.
in Charlotte, right? So I'm not like that. That's the thing. I'm not afraid to DM somebody on Instagram. I'm not afraid to DM somebody on LinkedIn. I'm not afraid to send a blanket cold email because I'm looking for the person with that pain that I can solve right now.
And it's much easier to send 100 emails than try and nurture 100 relationships.
Yeah, but then you narrow it down, right? So that's step one. Get the brand out there, get the problems you solve out there, and then you nurture the ones that you believe are the best. Because, I mean, I'm sure there's a real estate agent or a closing attorney or a financial advisor or somebody in town or an architect that like, if I can make that one happen or those few happen or that team happen, I would change it, right? So then maybe I sponsor an event. Maybe I engage in something that they're into. Maybe I, engage on their social media. I comment, I share, I post, I congratulate. Those all things work. Once you find somebody, because even if someone responds that, hey, I don't have a need right now, guess what? That means they think they might in the future.
Yeah. So
you engage with them, you follow them, you put them in your drip campaign, you follow them on Instagram, you engage with them that way. That's the nurturing side. But the original question was about how do I start? How do I find them?
So the next layer of this is once you kind of get this thing going, how do you, I forgot where I was going with this. I had a really good question.
I'm going to guess you were going to ask me, how do you keep them coming?
Sure.
Like, how do you keep those?
I'm going to go with that.
How do you keep those referral partners continue to refer to you?
I'm going to think on it, but yeah, answer that because that's a good one too.
So there's two things here. One is I was really good about re-engaging my referral partners every quarter with what am I looking for right now?
It came to me.
Okay, I'm ready.
It just hit me.
Okay.
So sorry, it just.
I'll come back to the
okay.
education side.
So when you're building this referral network, you don't want it to be a one-sided relationship. You can't always just take from them. What are you giving these people so you provide value to them as well?
If I can solve the problems I outlined in that email, I am giving them as much value as they need from me. And
that's where a lot of people struggle. They struggle because they feel like they have to do more and more and more. And it's like, you're doing what they need from you.
Yeah, it's like, because people say like, oh, do I need to give them referral fees or thank you cards? And yeah, and then like some of that's beneficial and can work. But if you narrow it down specifically enough and you can align yourself with the problems and solve those problems for your referral partners, they don't need a penny from you because you are solving some of their biggest pain points in their business. Mm-hmm. You solve those things. Like we'll use closing attorney. How many times have closings changed or pushed or adjusted because a closing attorney is not ready? Mm-hmm. You can solve that problem for a buyer's agent. They don't have a need to go anywhere else. You're making their life easy. You make them look good. You make their clients talk about them because if a closing goes good or goes well, they're not talking about the closing attorney. No. They're talking about the agent experience.
Right.
So that's what you're giving them. You're giving them brand awareness. You're giving them brand sustainability, brand trust because you're a service provider to them that helps them look good to their clients. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of this. If you're going after people who don't benefit from using you, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Right.
You're never going to get anywhere. But if you find people who the problems you can solve for them, help them make money or help them look good or help them accomplish a goal that they're going after, you will make them more money, which means they don't give a shit about the $500 or $100, $50 gift card you're going to give them.
Right. That's where, and we'll get into this at some point, but just understanding what your people want. And we can look at this as an internal factor as well. A lot of people are trying to say, how can I make my experience to work with us better? Well, don't give them shit that they don't care about. Make sure it's things that they value. And if they value you providing a good service to make them look better in front of their clients, that's all you need to do. You don't need to give them things that they don't care about because they're not going to remember them.
They will thank you so much more by just giving their clients a consistent experience that they can count on. There isn't a gift basket in the world that can equate to that value.
Thank you for listening. My goal is to take the guesswork out of how to properly sell within the construction industry. Once you nail this part of the process and get your sales and business development clicking, it makes everything about the job that much easier. If you have any specific scenarios or questions you want answered, shoot me an email, mike@bigstudsales.com, and follow me on Instagram at WinRate Consulting. Remember, win fast and win often.